Me in. All right. We in. We in. We in. We in.
Yeah. Hey, 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 here's the wake up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up, let the truth be told. The wake up call. Hey, 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 it's the wake up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up, let the truth be told. The wake up call. Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up.
Exercise. Y'all stand up, get some exercise. To make y'all get up every Sunday, every Saturday, get some exercise. It's the wake up call. The wake up call. The wake up call. All right, we're live in living color. See how excited we are over here on the corner of Grand River in Wyoming. We just cannot help ourselves.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Another live broadcast. We do this every singular Saturday from 8 to 10. Biscuits, grits, and salmon croquettes. I don't know what was going on. Ed must have just pulled his 18-wheeler in from West Virginia.
Lord have mercy.
On the road again.
Always, man.
Hey, did you all see Mitch McConnell? They were holding him, walking down the hall and fell. He might as well just go on home, man. Golly. It's going to be weekend at Bernie's in a minute.
It ain't already?
Fun.
Yeah, I'm just saying. He's a bad. So also we have Sabrina Athena,
Hey, hey.
who stands toe-to-toe with me. Not only is she pretty, but she's tall and pretty.
Y'all make me look short in all them pictures. I'm like, I am 5'9".
No, we can't make you look anything.
Uh-huh.
You are what you are. Speaking of which,
Like-
that's Chantel the hippie, Chantel Watkins, organizer par excellence,
Good morning.
integral part of our team at the Detroit Association of Black Organizations.
Amen.
So this was a rough week. Tuesday night, I'm sitting at home and get text messages. Donald Trump eliminated $3 billion worth of grants, which took out the last two. I've lost 4 grants already since he's been in office, but $1.2 million just gone. And all my people, getting frantic. I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna keep everybody on the payroll. I get up the next morning and first thing I do is call Gary Peters. And I say, first of all, how can he take our money when it's already been appropriated by Congress? I got money for another 4 years in those grants. And then, and I remember what the Lord told me. He said, you can either be overwhelmed or you can overcome. If you're overwhelmed, that's you. You won't be overcome, that's me.
Amen.
There you go.
Got to praying, and a day later, he reversed all of that.
Amen.
Yeah,
Amen.
he had no
Come on,
choice.
turn it on around.
And I'm going to tell you why.
Turn it on around.
And I hate to say this because there's several folks in Detroit, we all got together. The reason it happened is because these other communities are better organized than us. And there were people in rural America. There were, Jewish groups. I mean, they really got on the stick and was going to beat him down.
Well, you know what? They found out that the changes affected them too.
Hello.
Because if it didn't affect them, there wouldn't be no
but
change.
Ed, there have been a lot of changes that affect them. It don't matter. I have found, and I love my white brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
But I have found that in the era we in now, the white folks don't mind dying if it's gonna kill more of us than to kill them.
Well,
Y'all ain't talking to me.
Haven't we sacrificed a lot of brothers and sisters already?
I'm just saying that these people believe it's their country, and that somehow or another people like us and folks who come here from somewhere else. In fact, I believe we ought to get some T-shirts. If you deported folks, start with y'all.
There you go.
Hello.
Because y'all immigrants.
That's
Right.
true.
His
There-
wife is an immigrant.
So is the vice
That's true.
president's wife.
There's
I'm
only-
saying,
That's true.
right. I
There's-
mean,
yeah.
right.
And that's the part that kills me. It's like, what are we really talking about here? We got husbands, spouses that are immigrants. We got a lot of, like, our entire nation is made up of people who
Well,
came here from somewhere else.
There's a word that
Yeah.
people don't want to use, and it's colonialism.
Oh,
Like,
that's a
you
good
know, it's colonialism.
Mhm,
Like, they
mhm.
just really want to be the only people. Like, even what we're doing in Venezuela and what we're
Yeah.
doing in other nations by taking land and creating wars so that we can get their resources. No matter how anybody looks at it, they could call it whatever. It is old school colonialism.
It's been that way through
Yeah.
the beginnings
And
of
it-
I'm about
time.
to
That's
say
just
through the
what it
Viking
is.
days, the last
Yeah.
kingdom
All
taught
right,
me
I'm
that.
looking over here. Is the phone working?
That's
No, man, is
literally
the
what it
phone
is.
working?
'Cause we can
Yeah.
talk about colonialism till the cows come home.
Yeah, that's literally all it is.
Jennifer, the phone's not working.
It's
Where
literally
Jennifer at?
yeah.
Ring, ring.
Huh?
She's over there with the breakfast.
You got all the stuff up?
We got the
All right, let's go.
announcements. Yeah.
All
The
right.
phone should be ringing or working,
The
but they
phone
do.
is ringing.
It's working. Okay.
All right.
He just don't know how to use
Yeah,
the phone. He
It's
old
if
school.
if you told him it was phone sex, he'd get it working quicker.
all right, let's do the announcements.
All right, here's your
Where are
announcement number
they?
one. Here's our. Okay, go ahead. This is yours.
Yes, so Feed the
Are
Black.
y'all listening to this? We got all kind of food.
Yeah, tomorrow, come enjoy a hot meal sponsored by Crazy Burger. We'll also have non-perishable items and coats tomorrow, the 18th, from 2 to 4 at 16501 Wyoming.
Which is our temporary administrative office.
Yep, and this is with
Beautiful
Detroit
office.
Darlings and Dabo Detroit.
Have you been there, Ed?
No, I haven't been there,
Yes.
but that's my old
I
neighborhood. I already know what
almost
time
don't
it
want
is
to
over
get
there.
rid of it. I think I'm gonna keep it. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So that's and by the way, we're also tell them when we're doing the big food distribution.
Yes, on January 31st, we're also doing a big food distribution at the
Truckload
Bridge
coming
Center.
from Chicago.
9928.
Woo.
We'll have non-perishable items and fruits and veggies.
Yep, and we have enough for like what
500 families.
500 families. So make sure you spread the word. That is, when is it again?
January 31st, right after the wake up call. It'll be at 11
All right,
a.m.
so
at the
wake
Bridge
up,
Center.
get up, and get fed up. Come on. Next.
All right.
All right. So Russell, now look, people complain about not getting tickets because you wait till the last minute. I'm
Don't
gonna
do
start
it.
blocking calls. People calling me, can I get in? This is going to be a great show. Russell Tompkins and the Stylistics, and that is going to be. You got them all up? All right. So just go and go to Eventbrite and get your tickets. Next, huh? It's full already. Well, we'll figure something out. Jamal Bryan is coming to help me and my church celebrate our 15th pastoral anniversary, and excited about that. Those of you who I've helped, done anything for, you don't have to bring an offering. We love you do that, but just come and encourage me. I need encouragement.
Amen.
Hello.
All right, next.
Encourage the pastor.
All right, did you get Christopher Williams? Is he coming? No, let's stick with this one. An evening of R&B with Karen White, Randy Hall, and Stokely at the Music Hall. Great lineup. This is how we raise funds. Had a great meeting Thursday night at the DAC with our chairs. They're very ambitious about raising money for us. We need it. All the
Praise
stuff that
the
we
Lord.
do, we don't charge anything for it. Next.
Amen.
Now, this one, y'all know who he is, right? New Jack City.
That's my man.
Y'all, who's that? Who that is? Yeah, well, he's going to be here on May the 6th. How about that? All you ladies bring an extra pair of panties.
I'll be there. I'll be there. That's my man. I'll be there.
You know,
Y'all gonna have to fight
That's
me.
what they do, Jill. They throw panties.
Y'all gonna have to fight me.
They had Teddy Pendergrass had a whole storage unit outside full of panties that were thrown at him when he sang, "Turn out the lights."
They was all size 12.
Yeah, they were. Yeah. Well, now hold up a second.
Full
I got it.
coverage.
This is really interesting because I was telling somebody about bloomers, and they know what I'm talking about. Y'all remember they used to call them bloomers?
Hey, we used to jump off the buildings with them and float down.
Parachutes.
That's those good panties right there.
So
Them good
Christopher
draws.
Williams.
Comfortable.
Now this one's not all booked up, so you want to go get these tickets. And we've got some other great shows. Got a great comedy show that we're working on.
I'll be
I
backstage.
had an
for
opportunity
Christopher
to meet with the Knight
Mhm.
Foundation. Very excited about that and their help and allowing us and enabling us to be able to sponsor these great shows. Anything else we got up? And okay, listen, Y'all gotta look. Y'all gotta go to Chicago with us. It's
Yes.
not bad. A double room is $300. Single room is $350. We go shopping. Friday night we go to Riddle's Comedy Club. It's a black-owned comedy club in Chicago. Really nice. Leverette's been the brunt of jokes. That's why I didn't go last year. Saturday we go to Chicago Premium Outlet. It's in Aurora, Illinois. It's a fabulous outlet mall. When I go every year, I buy stuff for all of my kids, my grandkids, and we're going to get a big bus this year. We take the Sprinters, but this year we took both 2 Sprinters and the Yukon, but this year I think we're just going to take a big bus. So you can't beat $300 or $350 for a single room. And that includes transportation and your hotel. And we started early because if you pay $50 a month, you get to that amount pretty easily, right?
Yep. Amen.
All right, just don't go to Starbucks once.
Hey, McDonald's one time.
All right. So I guess is our guest here. All right. How about you introduce him, Chantel?
Yes. So we have Dr. Mukarram Siddiqui. He is the chief of cardiology at DMC Sinai Grace Hospital, and he's joining us by phone. Good morning. How are you doing today? Good.
Doing well. And let me just tell you my story, Doc. So I had a knee replaced, and Dr. Elder gave me a clearance, but throughout the last few years, I've had these questionable results in EKGs and stress tests, never conclusive. And so I had my surgery April 15th, I think it was. And he said, you come back after you get done. So I went back and he did more tests. He said, look, I'm just going to go in and do a catheterization and see. So when I came out, Dr. L looks at me. He said, you must know something. I said, why? He says, because you had 95% blockage in your widowmaker.
Ooh. Your widowmaker.
Now, Doc, I'm exercising, right? I mean, I'm working out. I mean, I'm preaching vigorously, never lost my breath, but I was in a situation that I could have been one off and had a heart attack and died.
Yeah, that's a possibility. That's a strong possibility, even though you may be doing everything right. Sometimes the genetic makeup of the patient just predisposes them to build up this clot inside the blood vessels of the heart.
Yes. And by the way, my mother passed at 43 with a massive heart attack. My dad basically died. So you're absolutely right. So that's a good place to start. If, in fact, you've had heart disease or heart issues in your family, when should you start, being concerned and having the kind of tests that you need to have to know what the status is of your heart?
Right. So in men, premature coronary artery disease is considered as any disease manifesting as heart attack or angina at age 55, and in women age 60. So you need to start being aware of your health as soon as possible, preferably in your 20s. That you should be paying attention to exercising on a regular basis. And starting in your 20s, you should get your cholesterol checked. And as you go along, keep paying attention to your symptoms and make sure that you continue to have a vigorous lifestyle. Risk factor modification goes a long way in preventing heart disease. So you need to be aware of the fact that if you have high blood pressure, you need to be taking medications for it. You need to know the cholesterol, no smoking, and pay attention to the body weight. So those are important risk factors that can be modified. Now, as far as screening for blockage buildup, there are a number of different things you can do. A stress test will help pick up blockage that is 70% or more. To look at initial stages of buildup of any blockage in the blood vessels of the heart, you can do calcium screening, which is a very easy test to do. It is done within a few minutes. It'll give an idea whether you have any buildup, and if you do have buildup, you can take medications for cholesterol management that helps repress those or stabilize them. So there are a number of different things out there. Important thing is knowledge and be aware of your health condition so that we can make a change in the disease course.
Nice. So you guys are redoing the heart catheterization laboratory at Sinai Grace Hospital. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So this past week we had, we have a number of different cardiac catheterization labs. We have revamped one of them and upgraded it. It's a state-of-art cardiac cath lab now. The hospital has spent about $1.8 million putting in a new state-of-art, the C-arm. The amount of exposure to the radiation is very minimal with this. It includes reconstruction of images that we take, instant recall. So it's going to go a long way in improving patient care. And in addition to that, it improves the safety for the operators because we do this day in and day out. So daily radiation exposure for the operator is also minimized. In addition to having this new suite added to the cardiac cath procedures, we have a state-of-art, very beautiful pre and post-op area that have been totally revamped. So we are looking forward to continuing to serve the community around the San Agres Hospital.
Yeah, I actually had my procedure down in the medical center from DMC as well. Dr. Elder did a fabulous job and well known. I tell people all the time, my dad having been chair of the board of receiving and built that new hospital, that sometimes people think the wrong thing about. If you're in a crisis, you want to go to DMC. I mean, there's no question about that. Yes, ma'am. You have a question for the Dr. Siddiqui, who has the same name. The mic's not on. Is it turned on? Who has the same name as that Piston player, right? Siddiqui?
Uh-huh.
Hi, my name is Melanie. I'm an audience member here, also from the neighborhood. Mr. Sheffield, first of all, I want to say thank you for all that you do.
Thank you.
Now to the doctor. My question is, within this past week, I've been lightheaded when I bend over. My vision is changing, and my right arm has pain in it. And I'm wondering, should I have an appointment for the cardiologist next month?
Please don't ask me whether you should go to a doctor.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm wondering, should I go to the doctor?
Yeah.
You should, and don't wait till next month. Still, today is 15th. Today is 17th, right?
Yes.
So we need to do that a little earlier than that, because if there are some neurological symptoms, you want to be proactive. It could be either arthritis or it could be related to your nervous system. You don't want to wait for 2 more weeks. Go get yourself checked earlier than later.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Or it could be because she argued with folk all the time.
Dr. Sadiq, I'm also, I've had cardiac catheterizations. The first one I had was years ago, and that's when they used to bury your leg like it was in a bunker with them sandbags. Now the second one was the leg, but the third one they went in through the arm.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you this: is there a way that we can make those beds more comfortable? Because it's real rough laying on your back all that time.
Yeah. I know. That's why we started doing through
Yeah.
The risk of bleeding is a lot less, and patient is able to set up much earlier, and a lot more better tolerated. Definitely. Hospital beds tend to be uncomfortable, and then you add the stress of going through a procedure. It's not the most comfortable feeling.
Yeah, it's not a hotel, Ed.
Well, they could
The
do.
whole goal is to get you out of there. So if you're uncomfortable in the bed, you're going to be going home soon.
Okay, man.
The thing is, healthcare has come a long way. When my father had a heart attack, he spent at least 3 months in the hospital.
Wow.
You get a heart attack, you get a stent next day or the day after you're home.
Right.
And the salvage of the heart muscle is so much more better than what it used to be back in the day.
Well, actually, Ed and I are close in age. I mean, as a child, even as a teenager, heart attacks are mostly fatal.
Right. Exactly.
People, you heard the worst thing you want to have is a heart attack because it meant you were gone, right? Yes, ma'am. You have a question?
Yes, good morning. My name is Latoria Williams, and I had a question in regards to congestive heart failure. Back in 2020, I was diagnosed with congestive heart failure, and they wanted to do, my cardiologist wanted to do a triple bypass on me. And, just being a woman of faith as I am, I prayed about it, and I was actually in the bed at the hospital to get it done that day. And I did leave out, end up not getting it done. But I just wanted to know, because I did go back for testing, retesting. And he did say that I no longer have congestive heart failure. And he told me to just follow up and to keep on coming in every 6 months to get checked. And so my question is, in regards to that, have you ever had patients that has happened to, and could it be related to diet and exercise?
Or getting rid of that man out of your life. That's a big cause of heart failure. It's a good question, Doc. Yeah, go ahead.
Let me recap. So you had they were recommended bypass surgery for you.
She's still talking to her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did they recommend bypass surgery for you?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
Back in
Okay,
2020.
did you get it done?
No, I did not get it done.
You did not get it done.
Yes.
So your heart function improved.
It did.
So yeah, no. So congratulations, it did. Likely, the likely explanation. Again, I don't have your records. It's possible that you developed, collateral. This is called as wherever there is a blockage, then you start developing small capillaries feeding the surrounding area, and the blood supply continued to be preserved to your heart, and your heart function improved. So congratulations again, but please do take your medications regularly.
Well, I come off of 20 medications.
20.
All right. Okay. There's another lady here with a question.
Okay,
lady right here
yes.
has a question. Our audience, we love this audience participation.
Right. Everybody in here.
Yeah.
Is there a heart in the house tonight?
It might be.
Stand up. Go ahead.
Good morning. My name is Kathy. I had my first heart attack in 2019.
Ooh.
I changed everything I did, and I was constantly going to the heart doctor. But in 2024, I was in an exercise class, and I had a heart attack while I was exercising.
Yeah.
So I waited a couple of weeks, and I went to the doctor. All of a sudden, he said, "Meet me at the hospital today. We have to do some surgery." So I have 3 stents in my heart right now.
Yeah.
And when I went back this year, because I started having just pain, the doctor told me now it's developed scar tissue, and he wants to go back in.
So do you have a question?
Yeah, I changed
Okay.
my diet again, but the only thing that he did to test me, he keeps giving me stress tests.
Yeah.
And I want to know
Well, you were exercising, and I just want to pick on that real quick, Doc, because my first cousin, Anthony Fleming, who is a world-class runner, he won an Olympic medal, and he's 73 years of age, and he still runs 15, 20 miles. He was in church 2 weeks ago. They were celebrating my birthday, and he and I were sitting up front of the church talking. He was working out the next day, and his heart literally stopped. They had to revive him. And here's the interesting thing. My wife had tested his blood pressure, who was a nurse, a family nurse practitioner, and his blood pressure was sky high, and he refuted it. Oh, no, that can't be. I work out all the time. So I guess my question is, can you just help people understand just because you work out doesn't mean you're all right?
Yeah. You should work out. You're physically fit doesn't mean that you'll not be affected by high blood pressure or diabetes or you don't have high cholesterol. He's a world-class athlete. He was a performance athlete. He has performed very well, but at the same time, as we grow older, the aging process does affect everybody.
Yeah.
May not affect physically fit people as much, but the blood vessels get a little thicker, stop reacting to, react to the stress hormones much more as we age. So you are predisposed to having heart attacks or strokes.
Sabrina Athena.
Yeah, I've been just hello, Dr. Siddiqui. How are you today? Hello.
Doing very well.
Good to speak to you again. And here we are at beautiful Dabo and looking around this room. Audience, if I could have your attention for a moment, show of hands, how many people in here have personally or just one-off? I know somebody who's in my family who has dealt with heart conditions. Okay, Dr. Siddiqui, I don't know if you can see this, but probably 90% of the room has their hand raised. So we know how important this new facility is. And so all the people that are in here, I want to know how they can engage with this new catheterization lab? What ways are we reaching the community with through DMC and these people who have legitimate questions? I'm surprised, but unpleasantly surprised to see how many people have personal questions to ask. How can they continue their knowledge in the month of heart, which was it's February?
Heart health.
Heart health month, right?
Heart health. Yes, EMC is coming up with a number of initiatives. I don't have the exact data in front of me. I will have Tammy reach out to you from the DMC about what our engagement is. In recent past, we used to do every month or every other month, we used to have what is called as People's Medical College, and there's one of the experts from the hospital. We would invite people to come to the facility, and we would talk about a specific topic. I personally have done several talks related to heart health. So I think there are some things that are lined up. I don't have that information in front of me to give you. Unfortunately, I forgot that in my office. I'm calling from my home today.
We will certainly be following up. No worries.
Yeah. Chantel, you have an interesting question about the intersection of high blood pressure and diabetes.
Yeah, so in the Black community, there are escalating rates of high blood pressure, heart attacks, and strokes. Why is it important to get evaluated before it's too late?
So this is called as metabolic syndrome, high blood pressure, diabetes, with some degree of renal failure, thickening of the heart tissue, and inability to relax the heart tissue to relax. These all go together. The underlying substrate is what is called as insulin resistance, in which you have high levels of insulin, but they're not acting well. So it is very important that you get started testing early, because you want your hemoglobin A1C to be controlled. You want the blood pressure to be controlled. And usually high cholesterol, especially high triglyceride levels, go with it. So you want better handle of that. The sooner you get started, better it is. Because when you have high insulin levels circulating, they tend to cause proliferation of the tissue, and the blood pressure levels continue to escalate. High cholesterol levels tend to cause build up within the blood vessels of the heart, as well as the blood vessels supplying the brain. So you want to act on it very early.
All right, we have another question from the audience. Actually, our photographer. Go ahead.
Hi, Dr. Siddiqui. I had a question. Like, if you're getting pain in your chest on and off, what could that be? Because every time I go to the doctor, the hospital, they say they find nothing.
Yeah, and I think let me just parse that. Let me parse that question for you, because I know in my reading and experiencing, sometimes people think it's indigestion, so it could go both ways, right, Doc?
Yes, yes, definitely, especially in women. You can have very atypical symptoms. So any chest pain, it needs to be worked up. Chest pain can come because of pain within the muscle or the bones of the chest cavity. It can be related to the lining of the heart tissue, it is called as pericardium. Sometimes inflammation of the lining of the lungs can do it. Sometimes if you have underlying pneumonia, that can cause chest pain. If a blood clot goes to the lung, it can cause chest pain. So there are a number of things that can give rise to chest pain, but any chest pain needs to be worked up. And if you have risk factors, especially family history of high blood pressure, diabetes, you also, at some point, a patient will need a stress test for the workup.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll let people to know we're running out of time, that you can actually sign up for get your heart healthy at dmc.org/heart win. Exercise tips, healthy eating ideals, all of these things assist you in making certain your heart is healthy. Ed, you got the last question.
Yes, Doc, I just want you to help emphasize something, because if you hear from a doctor, it'd be more, it'd sink in. When we talk about diet as a contributing factor, aren't liquids included?
Yes, liquids are very much included. So thank you so much for raising
They don't count.
Point. I don't know how much time I have. I just want to make a few points here, okay? So if you have pre-diabetes or diabetes, if you take a meal, the total carb intake should be 60 grams. And most of it should come from complex carbs, and one of the examples is broccoli. So, and in a snack, the total carb should not be more than 15 grams, and preferably you should not be using refined carbohydrates. I deal with heart failure patients a lot. I've been in Detroit area since 1992. The common misconception in congestive heart failure patients is you've got to take more fluid to keep your kidneys flushed. I want to speak through your channel. I want to bring awareness that your kidneys are already very flushed with water when you have heart failure. You need to take extra water. Adding extra water to your body is just going to increase your fluid levels. You'll get short of breath. So please don't do that. The total fluid intake, if you have a diagnosis of heart failure, should not be more than a liter a day. And obviously, you're going to work under supervision of your physician, but please pay attention. You don't need to take extra water.
All right, we've been talking with Dr. Siddiqui. We got to take a break. Ed, that does not mean that you're exempt from alcohol. The alcohol is included in your intake. We'll be right back after this.
You've been listening to
Here's the wake up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up, let the truth be told. The wake up call. It's the wake up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake
This
up.
is Super Bowl champion Lomas Brown, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield, my man.
This is Grover Kings, and I get my wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield every Saturday morning from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's your girl, Randy Rosario, comedian and TV host. I get my Saturday wake-up call with my guy, Reverend Horace Sheffield. Think about it today.
I'm Sheriff Raphael Washington, Wayne County, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up every Saturday morning from Reverend Horace Sheffield, and you should too.
Every Saturday morning from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Hey, this is City Council President Mary Sheffield. I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from my dad, Reverend Horace Sheffield.
What up, though? It's your girl T-Barb, and I get my morning call with Reverend Sheffield. Make sure y'all tune in every Saturday morning. It's good.
Every Saturday morning from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Hello, everybody. This is your girl, Erica Alexander, and every Saturday morning, I get my wake-up call with Reverend Sheffield. Make sure you go on and get some of that. All right? What is that? Is that someone called? Is it Saturday?
Every Saturday morning from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your man Mike Epps, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Sheffield. Make sure you get yours.
I'm Hester Wheeler, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Every Saturday morning from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
You've been listening to
Here's the wake-up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up, let the truth be
But my
told.
dancers,
Wake up call.
I'm gonna get me a choir out here. Some
It's the wake-up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up.
In the city administration for years, we've had community service days or community assistance days where we've helped people with water bills and electric bills. By the way, April the 1st, we're going to have a huge one down at the Bridge Center.
Amen.
With DT and others where they can actually help you get some assistance with your bills. But that's Brian Peckinpah, who was at WSD, but is now the director of neighborhoods for my daughter, mayor of the city of Detroit. Hey, Brian.
Hey, good morning.
Pull that microphone a little closer to you.
Okay.
There you go.
Will do.
Well,
There we
good.
go.
How does it feel to be appointed to
Oh.
that department?
It's a dream come true.
Okay.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
DPS CD, product of Detroit.
Yeah.
DPS CD, Cass Tech grad.
There we go.
Now that I did not know.
91.
That's why I like
just
you.
aged myself.
Okay.
Yeah,
20 years
well,
after I
I'm
did.
72. He's 71. So yeah. Well, good. So,
So-
tell us what the department. Now, I worked for Dennis Archer, and I was in neighborhood city halls. But all that's been changed now. It's Department of Neighborhood. You have district managers, district office. Tell us how that works.
Well, first of all, I so appreciate you, Reverend, and the
Right.
whole team over the years, the last 10 years, the customer assistance days and Lifeline, and it's been amazing. But the Department of Neighborhoods, we did have neighborhood city halls. I remember the one on Grand River when I lived in Rosedale.
Mm-hmm.
But those were taken away, closed down, right? And then so Mayor Duggan, when he got elected, he created the district managers using the new council districts.
Mm-hmm.
And he created district managers and deputy district managers, 14 people, to be the mini mayors, so to speak, of the neighborhoods. And so they've done tremendous work helping solve problems, educating about projects and programs. Well, we're going to take it to the next level of Madam Mayor, very much the next level. So as Reverend knows, from my experience when I was at the water department, I'm a problem solver.
Mm-hmm.
I help fill gaps. We worked on water affordability. Initially, at DWSD, people, there was no program. We helped launch that program with the fixed bill rate, Lifeline. Now it's a national model. And then the community outreach credit programs that we launched with the faith-based community and nonprofits.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to take that.
Yeah, so it's
that
basically
experience.
been what you've done to be a wedge between red tape and problem solving has been very helpful. You've been really, I know, I can't tell how many people I've called you about, pastors and other folks who just, water bills are high, and then you have, rainwater runoff and all
Right.
those kind of things, which have affected everything. Ed, why don't we start with you? Since you were worried about liquids in the last segment.
Well, since you're from Rosedale, sir, I remember many trips to the Northwest.
Right.
The movie theater over
movie
there.
theater up in
Yeah,
Grand River.
yeah. But anyway, are you going to be centrally located as far as offices go? How would people get in contact with you if they have need of your services? And what kind of services are you going to be able to provide or help?
That's a very good question. So we have the district managers, which there's 2 in each district. We also, under Madam Mayor, have just hired 2 senior advocates that are just working with the senior buildings. They'll be out in the community. They're going to split the city, west side, east side. They were out yesterday in District 1. And then Madam Mayor wants us to launch opportunity empowerment hubs. She's been very public about it. I'm personally working on the plan for it. It's going to be very data driven. The hub over here in District 7 or Northwest may not look the same. It's going to look how the community says what you need in that neighborhood. So Southwest is going to have different needs. They're going to have a different type of hub. So we're going to take city department staff from the agencies and bring them out to the neighborhoods.
All right.
And help with direct services. The district managers, the Don, they call them, they've been very helpful, but they can't solve problems right on the spot. So we're bringing the agency staff and customer service people from the departments into the neighborhoods. The first couple hubs will be launched within the 100 days, the first 100 days.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Athena?
Absolutely. How you doing, Mr. Peckinpah? So
Great.
you seem like the Swiss Army knife of like advocates for the city of Detroit. You're a problem solver, which then also makes you an identifier of problems. Now, me myself, I can relate. I applied for the coalition advocacy coordinator position, but I'll digress.
Period. Plug
So yeah, got to be. What are your responsibilities exactly from your appointment? Like, what if we had a statement of work? This is what I am responsible for. Let's get that rundown.
Oh, very good question. So I work in the new neighborhood affairs group. So neighborhood affairs includes everything related to the neighborhoods, seniors, district managers, opportunity hubs, labor, coalition, community violence intervention, everything that is in neighborhood related. So I'm the director of the Department of Neighborhoods. So the opportunity hubs, the people who are going to run that report up to me. I handle the strategy for that. The district managers report to me and deputy district managers. So I'm the citywide, but we have people that are in the districts that I want to make sure they do their job and identify. I tell them the why. So if someone's complaining about a dead tree and they've complained to the city for 2 years, what's the reason? Is it a why city issue, or what's the why behind why it's taken 2 years to?
Good questions that need
Yeah.
answers. Hello.
Yeah. That's good.
Thank you.
Go ahead,
You're welcome.
Chantel.
Yeah, of course. So you keep talking about district managers, which are very, very important roles, but not a lot of people understand what district managers do. Can you tell us what they do?
Oh,
And
sure.
how people can reach
Sure.
and how people can reach their district manager.
Very good question. So
Mhm.
district managers were created in 2013. There's 2 in each council district, a district manager and a deputy district manager. They're your basically mini mayors. They represent Mayor Mary Sheffield in the
Well,
community.
wait. What happened to Madam Mayor?
Madam Mayor. Thank you.
You had me going on Madam
Yeah.
Mayor.
Madam Mayor.
So it's like the mayor of your district.
Madam Mary, Madam Mayor Mary Sheffield.
Say it 3
right.
times
3
fast.
MS.
Yes. Yes, sir. Madam Mayor. So.
All right, go ahead.
Well, you trying to some tongues with that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. So district managers not only help address complaints, but they also, if there's development projects in your district, whether it be District 1 or District 4 on the east side, District 7 here, they go and present that to the community and bring department people out and help get support for the project, development projects, nonprofits, parks, any issues with DDOT, they help identify those and then help solve the problem.
Yeah.
So they're
So I dealt with Mona Ali, who was in this district at one time, and alley closures. I mean, any kind of thing like that. We would go through her as a district manager, and she would be very responsive. You have a question?
Yes. Once again, Helen from here. My question is about the water main breaks. We keep having in this neighborhood. We have one right now that's on Wyoming at the railroad tracks. I've called the water company. I've called the news. I've called anybody I can. Nobody's coming out. They let them run, the water run. Right now, the concrete is breaking. It's going to dip in. What do we do?
Well, he's no longer with the water department, but he's
I'm
with the
saying, can he help since he's over
I
the
got you.
Amen.
Since he's
Since
over the
we
neighborhood.
here.
Yeah, since you're over the neighborhood.
He'll see you after the show and figure out how he can help you.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Amen. And that's why
but
we bring
actually-
people in.
Actually, we're baptizing Sunday, so we asked if the water would run.
Ain't no better place than right here at home. No better place.
Right on the
Sabrina,
tracks.
And we still got that little ring, but go ahead, Sabrina.
Absolutely.
We're
So
gonna
you're
ring
saying
in the
that-
new year, I guess.
So let's continue talking about the district managers, because that just perked my interest. The many mayors of the districts, right?
Right.
So how does that chain of work go? And exactly how we just had this this observation voiced in this position. What's the easier way to get effective results moving forward?
So if there's an issue from a city department like that, like the water main breaks, the district manager, who in District 7 now is Linda Jackson. Linda
Period.
Jackson.
Call her out now.
She's a new appointee
All right.
by Madam Mayor.
Yeah.
She comes out of the UAW.
Mhm.
We know her very well.
Linda's
Yeah.
amazing.
Mhm.
Yeah, she's incredible.
We got another Kiata Shanklin we got to get in there, but go ahead.
So Linda Jackson or the other district managers will take that information and go directly to the department head. They have the authority from Madam Mayor, and the department heads know if the district manager is coming, it's from the mayor.
Okay.
They have the authority to say, hey, department head, there's this issue, we need it resolved.
Yeah.
And they take them seriously.
Yeah. So when I was working for Mayor Archer, you've been around long enough. You remember the MSIS,
Mhm.
Mayor Service Improvement System.
Okay.
And it was his attempt to track these kind of things. You put stuff in, then you can see whether or not it's been actually touched by folks and all that. But that to me, we always had the conversation was, people could put stuff in there and really not have had any contact with the citizen itself. So I think one of the things that people want, which is what she brings up, is that people want to know if there's an issue, right? And they talk to somebody that is going to be resolved. How much of a priority is that?
That's a good one. That's a major priority. So right now we use C-Click Fix, or it's called Improve Detroit. So once someone submits a service request, an issue, it goes to that department's work order system. It starts getting tracked on the internal end, and then they get public reports back out on the status. So
Okay.
Improve Detroit-
Similar to MSIS.
Right.
Right.
Improve Detroit's the replacement.
Yeah. I was amazed, and this is just an aside. When I worked for Mayor Archer and went to Oracle, most of what the city does was not even online.
Yeah.
They had to go to file cabinets and stuff like that. And we've come a long way in terms of that. Who's up there? You up there?
Yeah. And you know what? And I'm speaking from the heart as a Detroiter for many years. And that is, we've seen Detroit, those of us that are around my age, we've seen Detroit at its finest, and we've seen it at its lowest. But in my esteem, it looks like Detroit is really on the rise. They claimed it a few years ago, but I see a real big burst of growth within the city of Detroit.
It's a different city, man.
Right. So what can you really do to help Detroiters realize and recognize these improvements? Because we're such a vast area, a lot of times things get done, and I don't know about it because I'm on the other side of the town. So I guess I'm asking, is there going to be any kind of newsletter or something like that, so that we as Detroiters can know what's going on?
They put out. You need to sign up. I get inundated with stuff about what's happening. There's a whole text messaging system that shares everything that's going on all the time.
Well,
I'll get you signed up.
It's not just
me. I get too much of it.
We talk about everybody.
I haven't seen my daughter this much in years.
Must be nice.
It's ways you stay all the time. Yeah.
It's called Gov Delivery. So you just go to the city website and sign up.
Yeah. But and then you can also see Jennifer. We put help people get in that system, but you get all the alerts. Here's where I'm at. We've done a lot downtown. I mean, and Ed is right. Things have come a long way. I knew and know from my team, because we've been in this neighborhood since 1983. We were on 4450 Oakman. Then we came here in 93 when this building was given to us. And we have property and land in this neighborhood. We're about to do housing, by the way. I mentioned to people at DHC, we assembled some folks that we've secured $50 million in funding for affordable housing. Dave was going to be doing. But the point I want to make is, Ed, when we were over here at all these abandoned houses, they're all gone. The houses that look empty are old, and people are fixing them. And not only are they long-term Detroit residents, but we have whites moving right here off of Grand River, Hispanic people. And it's just amazing to see the interest that people have. Now, we purchased these two homes that we have occupied, one on Indiana, one here. on Kentucky for like $8,000 to $10,000 4 or 5 years ago. Homes over here are selling over $100,000 in this neighborhood.
And it's interesting you bring up the diversity. We
Yeah.
call it
That's it.
gentrification,
Yeah.
and that actually is where off script. I'm
Reestablishment.
Yeah,
The
the
reestablishment.
reestablishment of the neighborhoods. How are we serving those longtime native Detroiters? I know I've seen tax
Okay, let me
reforms
give
and
you
all
the
kind
right
of stuff.
phrase, which my daughter has borrowed from me and she uses. Generational residents. And I
That's a
like
good
that
one.
because there are whites that have never left. There
That's true.
Chaldeans that have never left, Jewish people that have never left, people who have stayed here during the tough time, who paid inordinate
Right.
taxes, who didn't have services, who watched their neighborhoods decline. And I'm not saying that they should be the only focus, but I
No.
think those folks, who didn't say, I'm the last person, I'm turning off the lights, should, be given some additional consideration.
And here's my actual question about this. From I'm sorry, please give me one more time. The
Generational residents.
The generational
Folks
residents
who have been
to the
here.
transplants, because Detroit is not a city. Typically, I lived in New York and I'm a Detroit native New Yorker. But in Detroit, we don't have people that were coming from other places, and now there are. How does that affect the neighborhood dynamic?
It certainly does, and we recognize that in generational Detroiters and transplants. That's why we're going to do more events to introduce neighbors to each other. So the district managers, part of the responsibility in the district is also to create block clubs, help create neighborhood associations so they can gather together, back in the day in Rosedale, we used to have, we would go from house to house, during every quarter to have someone would do hors d'oeuvres, someone would do the meal, someone would do, and this is a way to, connect with your neighbors. So we want to do things like that so
Beautiful.
people can learn about their neighbors and gather together. And also with block clubs, then they can start advocating for grants and other resources.
That's right.
Yeah, so we've assisted probably 5,000 folks. I mean, I think that's a good estimate. Through our nonprofit training classes, we used to actually help them become 501c3s. The process is much easier now than it was. I mean, you go online for $250, fill out a simple form. I still do that. I guess what I want to ask you is, to what degree does your department strengthen those organizations and help them to collaborate? What we see now, even in this neighborhood, and we went through some stuff. We created McKinsey Noble Community Collaborative, but there are groups over here, I won't mention their names, that were literally saying that, we were transplanted and, we're taking up all the money, but we actually pull all the groups together. So what will you be doing in that regard? Because I think people don't need to see each other as competition, but really collaborators.
Right, and we want to take multiple block clubs and help make an association. So
Right.
there's the block clubs and association. The association could be a 501c3 or a nonprofit,
Right.
and help advocating and applying
Which
for
is
grants.
which is what McKinsey Noble Community Collaborative is.
Right.
So we took the two schools, right? We also have the Grand River Oakman Jeffries Business Association, which we did the Bridge Center. We've got the Merritt family that's doing that new. And I met with Knight Foundation, who, by the way, is investing in this neighborhood in infrastructure. So that's exactly what we did. I mean, David was doing things, but we leveraged that. But we didn't get that from the city. That wasn't Moses coming down with 10 commandments. And I think, and let me just tell you one thing. I'm thinking that someone like my daughter or the city can really work with these groups and convince them on what it means to be collaborative. We paid for the green light over here when people couldn't buy gas, and that kind of stuff brought everybody together under one umbrella. Mr. Dickerson and Mother Powell, and all those folks that were working on their own, we convinced them we could do more together.
Yeah, that's a shining example. We will be doing that with the district managers and helping them get out in the community and help educate about how associations and CDCs and being able to leverage resources as a coalition, as a group. And that is one of our ways to continue to revitalize and resurgence in the neighborhoods.
So I got a tough question then. If you help facilitate that aggregation, right, of organizations, and block clubs typically don't become 501c3s, but they can create an association, will the city then consider giving them some preference in funding for like NOF projects? I mean, there's you've got to incentivize getting people to work together.
That's a good question. We're looking at, what would that look like once they're created association? What programs will we offer that? Just as an example, we were doing projects at water and aviation. In the aviation, Oakland Boulevard, Joy Road, Joy between, Oakland Boulevard, Joy between Joy and Tireman. There was no neighborhood to go to, neighborhood association, no block club. Mona Ali was like, yeah, there's no association here. Finally, Janice Hazel in the neighborhood helped organize a aviation sub association, but there are opportunities to do it. And we're going to look at, with Madam Mayor, how do we prioritize projects for these associations and block clubs going forward?
I think that's important because, in this neighborhood, we have long-term residents, right? And I think we've really proven our model that if we all come together, we can do more than we can on our own. Last question.
So what can we all as Detroiters anticipate in these next 4 years under Madam Mayor Sheffield's vision and the work that the Department of Neighborhoods is doing?
Very good last question. So Madam Mayor, if you've heard her in the last 2 weeks, is all about the neighborhoods.
She is.
All about the neighborhoods and customer service. She told her whole cabinet team the other day, customer service, customer service, customer service. So neighborhoods, what do corridors look like? How do we partner with neighborhood associations, CDCs, help create CDCs, revitalize the neighborhoods, bring that revitalization across the city. There's some work being done right now in the Finkel, Wyoming area that we want to lift up.
Whoop, whoop. Our neighborhood.
There we go.
And soon, Madam Mayor will announce a new director for small neighborhood, small business
development.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Yep.
We gotta go, but now listen. I think obviously my daughter's been listening. What I've said to her is, if you take Finkel, for example, or Puritan, some of those streets have thriving small businesses.
They do.
And you go down there, you have no idea of how substantial the neighborhood is because that little strip takes away from what it looks like. And we really got to do something with those arteries in our city so they reflect what's going on in the heart of our city.
Amen.
Thank you, Brian. We'll be right back.
Welcome.
We're going to have Donnie Simpson on the Love
You've
Bug
been listening
in just a
to-
few moments.
Here's the wake up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up, let the truth be told. The wake up call.
Lomas Brown, and I get my Saturday morning wake up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield, my man.
This is Grover Kings, and I get my wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's your girl, Randy Rosario, comedian and TV host. I get my Saturday wake-up call with my guy, Reverend Horace Sheffield. Think about it. Good day.
I'm Sheriff Raphael Washington, Wayne County, and I get my Saturday morning wake up every Saturday morning from Reverend Horace Sheffield, and you should too.
Every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Hello, everybody. This is your girl, Erica Alexander, and every Saturday morning, I get my wake-up call with Reverend Sheffield. Make sure you go on and get some of that. All right? What is that? Is that someone called? Is it Saturday?
Every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The Wake Up Call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your man Mike Epps, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Sheffield. Make sure you get yours.
I'm Hester Wheeler, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The Wake Up Call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
This is Super Bowl champion Lomas Brown, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield, my man.
This is Grover Kings, and I get my wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The Wake Up Call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
You've been listening to
Here's the wake up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up, let the truth be told. The wake up call.
Abraham Lincoln was a keep it playing, Doc. We having fun. Keep it playing. Come on, y'all. Everybody get up and dance.
Come on. Come on.
Get up. Get up.
Get a seat now.
Get
a seat now. Get a hand.
Y'all, did y'all
Come
hear
on.
me? Get up.
Get
If
up,
you ate my
y'all.
breakfast, stand up.
Come on.
Everybody stand up.
Hey.
All right, Paulette.
Come on. You see, Paulette and Cedric was the ones getting it. Come
All
on.
right.
Come on. All right.
All right, there we go.
The Hallelujah Man.
All right, so we were supposed to have Donnie. Y'all talk for a moment. We back with that ring again.
Oh no.
Did he call in? Did we come in yet or no? There he is.
There he is.
Can I get a clean up on aisle 3?
They're gonna love Bug.
There he is.
Can you hear me, Donnie? We can't hear him.
What up, Donnie?
Okay, let me see. Maybe I got
No,
mute.
I think we do, but we don't hear you through
I don't know
here.
what else to do. I'm here.
Wonderful,
I'm here.
wonderful. Donnie
Can you hear me?
Simpson is a iconic Detroit legend, and by the way, I was connected to him without being connected to him because I was Ernie Durham's paper boy, and so the Soul Team reporters and that whole era, was so huge and large for me, and then Simpson Records. Was an iconic representation as well of the Simpson family. Welcome to the show, Donnie. We can't hear. Are you muted again?
Let me see. I don't know.
There you go. Now you're fine.
Am I good? Can you hear me now?
You're good. Yeah.
Can you
Hold
hear
on.
me now?
A woman just fainted when she heard your voice. Yeah, you're good. She said, "I'm real good." How you doing, brother?
Oh, I can see everything now. Hey, everybody.
Yeah.
How are you?
Hello.
Yeah, we were blessed to have
Good
you
to
come
see
over
y'all.
to our Bridge Center and do our speaking. I know you were here recently as well, but tell us about. I know one of the projects you have right now is working on your own podcast, very popular. Just tell us what you're doing for yourself.
Yeah, well, the podcast is the latest project professionally. We put it up in October. We have all the episodes of this second season. The first season was like 4 years ago.
Okay.
COVID just kind of shut us down. And so, we've got that season up and looking forward to doing season 3. But it's been well received and, we have a lot of fun doing it. It's awesome. This is a very good time as far as I'm concerned. Rev, I've always felt like I was a hired smile.
Right.
And this is the first time I've owned it, and that's what these projects are about for me now.
Right. So I think
about owning me.
Yes. I think you're more than a hired smile, which is why I want to ask you, how did you get the name Love Bug?
Oh, wow. Wow.
It wasn't because you were hired, was it?
No, no, actually, I know a lot of people wouldn't remember this, but my first name in Detroit, God, for like a few weeks, I've toyed with the name Teddy Bear.
Okay.
Okay. Then it became Devastating Don.
Yes.
And I didn't even know what that meant. I mean, I'm totally not about destruction, you know. I'm like Michael Jackson. I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Yeah.
And so eventually I changed it. But at the time, the movie Herbie the Love Bug was out, and I had a bug. I had a Volkswagen Beetle, and I just, you know what? I'm going to be Donnie the Love Bug Simpson, and that's what stuck.
Okay. That's a
Yeah.
All right, Sabrina, Athena, Sabrina.
So how you doing, Mr. Simpson? My name is Sabrina Athena. Glad
Hey,
to have you on
Sabrina.
the show today. So let's talk about you
Oh.
growing up in the Motor City and before we became the Love Bug. You know, let's talk
Oh.
about your upbringing in Detroit and how that influenced the
Well,
rest of your entire
But that was
diaspora career.
well, that was. But I was the love bug so young. All of that is part of my upbringing. You know, I mean, I was on the air at 15 years old. But yeah,
Anointed
but
voice.
yeah, WJLB. You know, I mean, and that time Detroit was the 5th largest market in the country. So to get you started in a major market like that at such a young age, what a blessing that was. But you know, we grew up on the east side of Detroit, like DeQuinder and 6 Mile over in that area.
Didn't you go to Pershing?
No, he went to Denby.
No. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, he did Denby Tar.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
see what you don't know,
Yeah.
Horace. Well, he was part of the Detroit, the WJLB.
Yeah, I know.
Team
Soul
reporters.
Team reporters.
Hold on,
Yeah.
but he knows Cheryl Poole, the
Okay.
Black Pussycat.
Okay.
See?
But we don't need to hear no more from you
Cass
about that.
Tech.
You better, don't go down that lane with him, please. You'll be in the back halls of Cass at the
See,
moment.
I know some things. All right.
Yeah, that's right. Well, Cheryl was the president of the Soul Team Reporters, and I was the vice president.
Yeah.
And we remain friends to this day, man. I love Cheryl. She was so awesome.
Right.
But yeah, so we grew up in that area. My mother's record shop was down the street about a half mile over on Joseph Campo and 6 Mile.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I was always in my mother's record shop from the time I was 12. That's when she opened it in 1966. And so people would always come to the record shop and go, you know, you sound like a DJ. My voice changed the summer between 8th and 9th grade. And so I would hear that every day. And I thought, you know, it was like in one ear, out the other. I wanted to be a Baptist minister. And somewhere along the line,
we can
George
trade
Clinton-
places, man. Go ahead.
I don't know what I will make George Clinton turn me out somewhere along the line, man. And here I am.
That's right. P-Funk. That was the
You can't
time.
hang around George Clinton too long without having some effect.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah.
So Chantel,
But
go ahead. Go ahead and finish.
yeah, so anyway, you know, that was the beginning of it for me. Al Perkins came into my mother's record shop one morning, one afternoon to do a show live from there. And they just had this portable booth that they drove up. His glass enclosed, and he sat out in front of the record shop and did a show for 3 hours from there. And I went into that booth, and man, I saw him sitting there, man. He has his headphones on, and he's jamming to the music, man. I was like, man, I could do that. That's what I want to do right
For the
there. I
rest
mean,
of my life.
it was just that instant I fell in love with radio, and I was on the air within 2 months.
Yeah, so that's
I
such
guess.
a powerful thing. What we do, we have, and Chantel's going to ask questions. We have a great program we just got funded. I think the opportunities for young people to know what they want to do with life come from exposure like you had, right? If they don't actually
Absolutely.
see it or have their hands on it or hear it, they don't really know what it's all about.
That's right. Well, you know, I always invite people into the studio when I was doing my show. And I remember my producer asking me one day, it's like, why do you do that? I mean, because it's so distracting. I said, because somebody let me distract them one day.
Amen.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello.
And this, and look what happened.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you know, you got to give them a chance. You got to let them see. You never know. Somebody just be sitting there, not even thinking about it, like I was. I wasn't thinking about radio. Boom. career was born just because I saw it.
Fateful distraction.
Yes, I love that.
Chantel?
So you've been working as a DJ and for a very long time, okay? And you are like the man. Okay, as soon as I saw this, I was like, oh, okay, I had to tell my dad, so I know he's watching. So you moved to Washington, D.C. and started working as a DJ. Like, tell us about that whole journey and how you've really become a household name.
Yeah. Well, I left Detroit in 1977. I got a call one night. I was doing the show at WJLB, and a guy called me and on the request line, and a very official voice, and he says, this is Bob Inneberry from NBC in New York, and is this Donnie Simpson? I go, yeah. He said, I would like to talk to you about working at one of our radio stations in Washington, D.C. And I said, come on, man, who the hell is this really?
Quit playing.
Yeah, right, quit playing. Because your boys would always do that. They call and put an official voice on and then here you trip on. Like,
This is Halle Berry. I want to go out with you.
Right.
Not today.
And they go, oh, man, this is Claude, man.
do.
What you doing after show, man?
Yeah.
Let's hang out,
Right,
So,
right.
Anyway, but this was real. And it was a disco station. And I wasn't interested at all because it was disco. And I didn't want to do that. But my oldest brother always taught me that you always listen to opportunities. You at least listen.
Hear it out.
And so I went and they brought me in and they picked me up at the airport and interviewed me at Arlington Cemetery, which is the strangest thing. And I'm like, this is so Washington. It's so clandestine. Why a cemetery? It was just weird. But when I got there, they were playing some Enchantment and some, so that made it feel like home for me as one of Detroit's groups. And it was a little more than disco. But the biggest thing for me, in all honesty, was, man, I was going to be rich. They were going to pay me $28,000 a year.
No, that was a lot of money in them days.
Well, for me, I mean, at JLB, I was making 13. So this was, more than twice the money. But when I was so young, I didn't know that the cost of living was 3 times as much as Detroit.
Yeah.
And man, I was so broke the first couple of years. It was really tight. And because also I lost my side hustle. I wasn't popular there, so I couldn't do anything on the side. And but eventually worked out. I mean, very quickly in like 2 years' time, things just really, really jumped for me. But it turned out to be a great move for me. Being there in DC once Bob Johnson started BET.
All right.
That opportunity came. Well, let me even back up a little bit before that. I started doing sports on the local NBC station because NBC owned the radio station I was on. And it was a contract negotiation and they were just trying to sweeten the deal, So they said, would you like to do some TV? Yeah. So I started doing sports on the weekend. I was a sportscaster behind a guy named George Michael, who created the George Michael Sports Machine, which was seen across the country and is actually considered to be the precursor to Sports Center on ESPN. Yeah.
Okay, give us the history.
Yeah, so I did that for like 3 years, and then BET, Bob started this thing. He saw me and he knew of my musical background in radio and thought, he called me and asked me, would I like to join this thing? And so my first reaction was no, I didn't want to do it because I've always been very careful of image. It's all I have. I can't give you 20 rebounds a night, so I'm very careful of what I get involved with and everything. It has to be top shelf. BET in its infancy wasn't a very pretty baby. It looked like public access TV. I mean, but I thought about it for 2 days and it came down to that this is our first Black television network.
Come on.
If you have something to offer it, you got to do it. Let's go.
So and
that's how that happened.
Yeah, one of the interesting things, and I don't like when people liken me to other folks, but I was talking to somebody about you being on the air, and they were saying to me that if had not been a Donnie Simpson, there would be no Keith Sweat. That
Okay.
his
Wow.
whole spiel. Hey, he answers the phone
Sweat
and they says,
Hotel.
"Hey, Keith." He said,
Yeah.
"What's wrong, baby?" I'm in the bathroom. My boyfriend's mad. What is he mad about? Because I was making love and I kept saying Keith and his name is Carl. I mean, he makes his whole spiel and stick is on his voice, right? I don't think there's another voice in our community except maybe James James Earl. What was
James Earl Jones.
Yeah, except for him,
James Earl,
that
ooh.
recognizable, man. Really.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What an honor.
I mean,
Boy.
do you
Well,
guys think
thank
the
you.
same way? I
Yeah,
think
no,
so.
it is incredibly recognizable, and that takes you everywhere. So you said you were a DJ. Did you get to kind of help with the uprising of go-go music? Because I think regionally we've had a blur of what music looks like, right? And then we talk about these different regions, and you got down south music, you got this, you got that. I sense that you were around in that same time where go-go was from disco to something different. Was that a part of your journey?
Well, I mean, it was there before I got to DC. But yeah, I was definitely part of that explosion. As a matter of fact, I have a gold record at home from EU, Experience Unlimited, doing the butt.
Okay.
There you go.
There's just so much cowbell. So much cowbell.
Yeah, no doubt. Because I was the first to play it. I broke that. And so they recognize that. And it's significant because there are only 2 go-go records that ever went #1 in the country on Billboard charts. And that was the second. The first was Bustin' Loose by Chuck Brown.
Oh, okay.
Now,
That's go-go.
so, I mean, of
Bustin'
course,
Loose,
I played that, but it wasn't, I wasn't the first to play it like I was with the EU thing.
Yeah.
But, I've always supported, and they recognize me for that, for supporting go-go music. But that comes from Detroit.
It does.
Growing up in the radio, that I don't mean the music, that attitude of supporting local music.
Yes. Yes.
That's what we did in Detroit. That was radio for us then. We had a category. It was like 2 local songs every hour.
Right.
And so I always believe that, and that you should support your local acts.
Amen.
And I hate that that's part of what radio has become now, that it's not localized anymore. Everything is programmed nationally. You got one person programming 80 radio stations across the country. And so it's become so homogenized.
Even to the point where they eliminate real live people DJing the shows. We have some stations here where everything is pre-programmed, even the person who's supposedly hosting.
Yeah, and that's not good. I mean, I may sound weird, I don't know, but I was always one of those look out the window kind of guys. I would do my show, and I always wanted to look out the window. I would even leave the studio and go outside to feel the day.
Right.
I need to know what the day feels like. It's certain songs I'll play on it. Yeah, I know it sounds weird, but
that's real.
That's the way I always work.
That's Donnie Simpson, the Love Bug. Yeah. Ed, you have a question?
Yeah, and you made reference to a good period of your experience came from DC. How important was Ben's Chili Bowl to you?
Oh man, Ben's Chili Bowl was so huge to me. Wow. Yeah,
Let's talk about it.
You know what? It's the funniest thing, but the reason I gravitated to Ben's so much, I mean, it's a landmark in DC. Everybody goes there, but the thing that connected me so to Ben's was that it reminded me of my mom's record shop. Okay? Because it was a mom and pop joint, in the hood. I would go down there. They had a jukebox. I'd go down there, man, drop money, and I'd sit there and play music for 3-4 hours. But it was just that connection. And then Mrs. Ali reminded me of my mom.
That's what I was
she reminded me of my mom. So
beautiful
I was always at home in that place. Yeah. Still to this day, that's the way I feel when I go to, even though it's changed, just like so many of our cities, with it used to be like DC was Chocolate City. I'm not even sure it's Chocolate Chip City anymore.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
It's just
Well-
changed so much. You got white women walking around whistling dogs at midnight, whistling and walking their dog at midnight.
In
with not a-
Southeast.
It's
So-
it's just so different.
So speaking of home,
Yeah.
I'm assuming you came out and it was a 71 or 72 class of
that I
70
came
out of high school. 72.
Oh yeah, 71.
71 your year behind. That's Ed's class.
Yeah.
That's why he's trying to connect with you so fiercely. But speaking of home, as you know, my daughter, by the way, is a new mayor. And
Congratulations.
thank you. I appreciate
Yeah.
that. And
Man,
in my
that's
conversations with her, I would share with her, my grandfather lived on Hazlet, which was the old West Side, not far from Tabernacle, which he was a founding member of. And he would get up every day, Ed, with his water hose and water down the sidewalks. I mean, just the pride they had in their home ownership and the way this town looked. So what I want to know from you is just give me maybe two things about home that were most influential to you, aside from the record shop and your mom and your family. I mean, about Detroit that really helped to shape your character and your outlook on life.
No. Well, it's you're talking about watering. I remember seeing this documentary on Detroit, and this was about 8 years ago, I think. It was on NBC. And but they were talking about how, so many people left Detroit. As you know, I'm sure, in a 30-year period, the population went from like 2.7 million to 800,000, I think. And I mean, it was just insane. And like over by my mother's record shop, blocks that would have, say, 20 houses on them, and you all know this, would now have 2 or 3. And everything was so dilapidated and torn down, it looked like a bomb had gone off and all of that. But what I loved as I was looking at that documentary is, but look at the lawns on those 2 houses that do stand.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. Look at that.
Look at the pride they have and what they have. I get goosebumps right now just saying that. That was so that pride is something that I learned from Detroit.
Yes,
that's ingrained in me. I was talking to a friend yesterday. I'll share this story with you because I think it speaks. And I hope it doesn't take too long, but I think it speaks to something that you're asking me. What did Detroit make you? I'm in Chicago right now with my grandson. He's a hockey player, and there's a hockey tournament. So we came in yesterday, and he's 14.
And you
so
were
I was
just in
telling
Detroit for the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. So I was telling him yesterday that the last time I was here was for the Radio Hall of Fame, Hall of Fame induction ceremony, and that was at the end of October. And I would love to tell you about the guy that was inducted. If you have time, I'll get to that after I finish this story. But I was telling him when I got here, I had arranged for my aunt and uncle to come in from Alabama because the guy we were inducting, Shelley the Playboy Stewart, is from Alabama, from Birmingham. And he just meant so much to the civil rights movement and everything. And they were part of that. Them and my mom, they used to go to these meetings that he had with Dr. King. And, so I wanted them there because I fought for 2 years. I'm on the nominating committee and fought for 2 years to get Shelley into the Hall of Fame. And he's 92 years old now. And it just meant I can't. When I went in, I'm telling you about it now, but when I went into the Hall of Fame, as excited as I was, if you took that and multiplied by about 100,000, you might get to what I felt for getting Shelley in. Because mine is entertainment. His was, he's telling these people, the people of Birmingham, where the meetings are that night in code on the air.
Incredible.
Okay, by playing certain songs, saying certain things, because if the police or the KKK, well, sometimes it's one and the same. If they knew, it's a problem. So that's what Shelley did. So anyway, I bring my aunt and uncle in, but I arranged for them to get here an hour after me because I want to make sure that I'm there to greet them so that there's no problem. So now I'm walking through the airport. I said, well, God, what am I supposed to do for an hour? So, well, maybe you should just sit at this restaurant. I said, no, you need to go down and get your bag. You don't want it floating around. So go down and get my bag. As soon as I get my bag, I see this 22-year-old, maybe Asian woman, Chinese. And she's got 4 huge suitcases and a crate for her dog. And she's got them all bunched together. And she's just inching along, trying to go somewhere. I go over, I grab 2 of the bags. I said, can I help you? Let me help you. And she said, oh, God, thank you so much. She was so grateful. And I said, where are you going? You going curbside? She says, no, I'm going to rental cars. I said, oh. I said, okay. She says, are you going there? I said, I am now. Right. It's like, ain't no doubt. I'm not leaving you like this. And so, man, I have to ask like 4 different people how to get there. We go through this tunnel, over a bridge. We end up on a train, take us out to the rental car area, which we're on a train for like 12 minutes. I'm like, am I still in Chicago? This is crazy. So go down another set of stairs, another flight, get her to the rental car. I tell her, I set her up at the counters. They're going to take care of you now. She was moving here from DC and was very scared. And I told her, don't be scared. This is going to be great for you. This is going to be great, And she just started crying. She said, God, you're so nice. I said, I just would like to think that if my daughter or granddaughter was in this situation, that somebody would help her.
Amen.
And so then I get back on the train, go back to the terminal, get to baggage claim at 12:54, which is what time my aunt and uncle's supposed to arrive. And all I could think was, boy, God, you something else, man.
Hey,
It's like, hey, I am walking through the airport going, well, what am I going to do for an hour? He said, okay,
Oh, I got something
just
for
keep
you.
walking.
Here's some service.
I'll show you. Just keep walking. But to me, all of that story to me, because I was telling it to a friend yesterday who's from Benton Harbor. He's my attorney. And he was saying, we were just talking about, that's Michigan. That's Detroit. That's what's instilled in you. That's Detroit. That's you help. This is not what I was planning on doing, but it's what I'm doing now. I have no choice.
Well,
no choice.
I piggyback on that because there's certain things I was taught. The more you do for others, the less you worry about yourself. And my grandma said, because God will take care of you for taking care of them.
Amen.
And one of the biggest, and I won't preach today, one of the biggest things that I've got members of my church here is how do we serve a man that died for others and never thought of himself? And yet all we do is think of ourselves. This is the history of Black folks and why we were who we were when you were here in Detroit, is that these were people who were service driven, served their communities, right? Served their families, served their churches, which leads me to my other question. Tell me some more biographical data. Did you go to church in Detroit?
Oh, absolutely.
Which
Burnett
one?
Baptist Church.
Oh, J. Allen Caldwell.
Reverend, he married me and my wife.
Wow.
Yeah. Reverend Caldwell. My mom
was that great? Now you talking about a great voice. You talking about a voice.
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
And I just idolized him, man.
Yeah.
He just meant so much to me. Yeah, 30th and Cobb. It goes way back to there.
Can I tell you about
to
that
the
building?
beginning.
Can I tell you about that building? It was a Jewish bakery. In 1931, my grandfather signed the papers for that building, and it became New Light Baptist Church.
Really?
30th and Cobb. My dad, in his memoirs, talks about putting the roof on it and renovating that building for New Light. And by when you talk about Birmingham, you may not know this, but my dad was, for Dr. King, head of the Birmingham Voter Education Project, which Dr. A.G. Gatson funded. That's Jefferson County, and spent a lot of time in Birmingham. I know a lot about Birmingham and people from Birmingham. But here's the other thing is, and I just had this conversation, you and I, right?
Yeah, on the panel.
King's birthday. People don't know the degree to which Detroit and its trade unionism and churches was such a large part of that civil rights movement.
Amen.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No doubt.
Yeah.
I have a question
Go
that's a
ahead.
little bit pivoted from where we're at currently. I want to go back to where we were talking about music and having regional sounds and everything, and how nowadays things have been so osmosis blended and you don't really know who's doing what from where. Where do you get your new music? I know now there's always an outlet, right? There's always somewhere. And TikTok, right? Let's talk about it. TikTok and social media has been the premier place to find new trends, new music, new artists. Where do you go for new music?
Mostly my grandkids. Well, you know, because that's always been a question that I've asked all my life is,
Where's
what
the
are you
music?
listening to? You know, what do you like? You know, who are you into? My kids, I just always want to know what people are listening to. It's not just me as a DJ playing music for you. I want you to play music for me. As a matter of fact, I have there's a thing I created, a feature I became part owner of a platform called discovered.tv. And it's a streaming service where, you know, people, creatives can put whatever it is that they're doing, you know, like a YouTube, you can put it up and it's advertising based where you can share in the profits from the ads that run. And so I'm very excited about that. But I created a feature for that platform and it's called Play Something For Me. Okay. So after my podcast, I'll sit down, like the very first one was with Big Daddy Kane. And so then I sit down with Big Daddy Kane and we do it it's like a sound booth. I wanted to look like a studio, you know, a music setting. And so, you know, I said, so Kane, play something for me. So he plays something for me and I play something for him. And you don't let them know. I don't know what he's going to play. He doesn't know what I'm going to play. And it was born out of this. I don't know if you guys remember this, but there was a viral video about 3 years ago. These two young brothers, they were probably 18, 19 years old. And they were sitting there and they were listening to Phil Collins in the Air Tonight for the first time. And when the drums came, and they just went off. And I just loved that moment. Someone thought, you know, this is kind of that, just to see people's reaction to something. When I played the Kane song for him, he just freaked. He got into the groove first, and the song, I'll tell you like that. I'll just tell you what happened. So he's grooving.
Let me do this. Let me do this, and I'm going to bring another person up after the break. Lexus Curve, formerly Hallmark. I got to take a break. You know how that is.
Oh, okay.
I got to pay some bills so I can get on discovered.tv. We'll be right back after this. Stay right here. Listening to.
With Reverend Horace Sheffield, rise up, wake up, let the truth be told, the wake up call. It's the wake up call. With Reverend Horace Sheffield, rise up, wake up, let the truth be told, the wake up call.
And I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield, my man.
This is Grover Kings, and I get my wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield every Saturday morning from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 AM, the wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's your girl, Randy Rosario, comedian and TV host. I get my Saturday wake-up call with my guy, Reverend Horace Sheffield. Think about it. Good day.
I'm Sheriff Raphael Washington, Wayne County, and I get my Saturday morning wake up every Saturday morning from Reverend Horace Sheffield, and you should too.
Every Saturday morning from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 AM, the wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Hello, everybody. This is your girl, Erica Alexander, and every Saturday morning, I get my wake-up call with Reverend Sheffield. Make sure you go on and get some of that. All right? What is that? Is that someone called? Is it Saturday?
Every Saturday morning from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 AM, the wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your man, Mike Epps, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Sheffield. Make sure you get yours.
I'm Hester Wheeler, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Every Saturday morning from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 AM, the wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
You've been listening to
Here's the wake up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up, let the truth be told. The wake up call. It's the wake up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise
All right,
up,
we're back in
wake
live and
up,
living
wake up,
color.
let the
This is
truth
the
be
indomitable, incomparable Horace Sheffield III with my illustrious cast of characters that I compete with Mike Time every Saturday.
Ain't no compete with you.
We're joined by
You win.
it's competing. It's competing.
Win.
It's a competition. It's good to have a competition. I am better because folks force me to be.
Amen.
I've always, Ed was an athlete. Ed was an outstanding athlete. He wore 71. I wore 72 our class years, and I became a better football player because I watched Ed knock three Negroes down at a time and stand over and don't get back up. I want to introduce Alexis Curcio, founder of Shining Diamond Media Group, formerly vice president of Hallmark Cards.
Okay,
girl. Quite a corporate person and just very successful. We could just spend a couple more minutes with him, then you have all the time. Would you like to ask Donnie a question?
Well, Donnie has been telling all of the tea, and I actually have learned a lot and appreciated it. I don't really have a question. I just want to hear more of these stories. This has been fantastic.
So who's up? You, Ed? You up, Ed? This will be our last question, then we'll close. Go ahead.
Okay.
I have to ask you this, and this is just a personal question.
All of them.
Why didn't you go to Cal State?
Oh, here we go.
I wasn't smart enough.
Oh, no.
Me neither. Me neither.
No. No, well, I mean, wow. I don't know. I just decided to go out to Denby. I don't know. I mean, and Denby was so, man.
Denby
it
was
so
practically all
at the
white when you
time.
were there. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
It was 3% black.
Yes.
I think it was 2 years before me when they first integrated Denby.
Yeah.
But for me, I just wanted to get away. I was supposed to go to Pershing. All my brothers and sister went to Pershing, but I wanted to get my head into school. I was just having too much fun, which is a really adult kind of thing to think at that age, But that's why I went. I was so scared when I first got there because I had never been around so many white people in my life.
Right.
And they think they only had that fear. Man, I
Well,
had
you know
that
what?
fear too.
I'm gonna mess with you because Carl Hopkins tried to get me to come there.
Yeah.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
So let me tell you my impression of Denby. We're going to go because I can't remember the black quarterback they had. Was it Jesse James or Jesse Jones?
Jesse, was it Jesse? One Jesse Helms, I know that.
No, but Denby had won the city championship 5 years in a row till Skip Willis beat him at King. Skip died this week, by the way. Skip Willis, who scored like 4 touchdowns on them. But here's the thing: when you went to play Denby, you thought you were going to Notre Dame. I mean, that football pro. Am I right, Donnie?
Oh yeah, they
that
had a great football
and they had,
program.
and I'm 6'4", 247 in the 11th grade. But those white boys over there was 265.
Hold on, I got a story about Denby. I was playing the line, and they had a big white boy named DeWibby, weighed over 300 pounds.
Wow!
And
in high school,
I cut him down. As an offensive ball player, I cut him down. He laid on my back and started laughing. Say, "What you gonna do now?"
There you go. Well, look, it's a pleasure having you. I want to spend some time with Miss Kerr. And we're gonna get you back. We're gonna get you back to the Bridge Center sometime this year. I think it's great to have you back.
Okay,
and,
well, I would love it.
Absolutely,
Thank you for having me on.
Thank you
today,
for always
Rev.
being so kind and accessible and accommodating.
And thank you for loving Detroit. Yeah, thank you.
What up, Donnie? The love bug.
The love bug.
Thank you. Love y'all.
107.5. All you fine foxy ladies on the east side, meet me at Ernie D's campus ballroom. First 25 getting absolutely free of one provision. Can't be ugly. God don't like ugly. I can't stand it.
Amen.
The east side ladies.
All right, thank you. All right, Alexis, tell us where you're from and how you wound up in all the stuff that you're doing.
Originally from Brooklyn, New York.
Okay, Brooklyn
What
in the
part of
house.
Brooklyn?
Stuyvesant, Bed-Stuy.
Okay, I lived on. Hold on a second.
Come on,
I lived
baby.
on Bedford and Pacific and
Okay.
Franklin and Dean.
We was off of Clawson Avenue.
I know Clawson.
Yes.
Yeah, in fact, I know Clawson well. Yeah. So go ahead.
Originally from Brooklyn, at 6, my mom decided after the just craziness in New York that we should move to Georgia. So we moved to Augusta, Georgia. So I grew
Okay.
up in Augusta and came to Brooklyn every summer. And then went to college in Atlanta. I was like, okay, it's time for the big city. And so that's how I ended up in Atlanta, Kennesaw State engineering undergrad and a computer science undergrad, and then sort of made my way up north.
Yeah.
Spent some time in Ohio working in engineering, and then came to the Big D in 2003.
Yeah. And I think people need to know significant accomplishments of her being the vice president of a major company. That's what draw me to you in the first place, because my granddaughter's got this car company.
I see. I said I
and-
got to grab a couple on the way
Yeah,
out.
she's
for
done very
sure.
well with them, and and that came out of her asking me for money all the time. She's 10. You got to find a way to be in business. But what is it like to be an African American woman in that kind of corporate environment?
It's stressful is a word that I'll use. I've learned since being an entrepreneur, a lot of hard work, but I've had a way less stress. And so I spent 20 years in automotive, working at Delphi, working at Intiva, and then more recently, I spent time working as the head of multicultural marketing at Cadillac when I was here in Atlanta, and then with Cadillac, spent time in Dubai about 1.5 years. It was supposed to be a 6-month assignment, and it kept getting extended, but it was amazing to be in the Middle East. I traveled to over 20 countries when I was sort of on that side of the world for the 1.5 years. So traveling has also, played a major impact in sort of the work and the culture that I've been able to be a part of and then lead. So I spent, 20 years in automotive, the last 10 at Cadillac. And then when I left Cadillac, I went to Hallmark to be the vice president of the Mahogany brand, grow that into many different spaces. So help grow it in film, podcast, which was NAACP nominated. Also had the opportunity there to host a lot of events and grow the social over 300%. So we went from like 2,000 followers to over 60,000 really, really quickly. And so it was really a great opportunity for me to lean into community and leverage networks. And so
and that's why you're here, because you're a bad sister.
Yeah, you have a very impressive
We're in
journey.
the presence of greatness.
Yeah.
It's been a blessing.
Yeah.
I think the other piece that many times we leave out of these journeys is how deep faith has been a part of my walk. So
Amen.
I spent, 10 years at Hartford Memorial Baptist Church. I was a deacon there, ordained under, the pastor, who's long gone. But I learned a lot, and more recently, I had the opportunity to do more work in the community with Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
Okay.
Are you an AK?
Yes, I am.
Well, all three of my sisters were in R. So, yeah.
Yes.
Everybody, they're courting Mary very heavily.
Happy belated
My,
Father's
si- my,
Day.
si- my sisters told her that there's no way she'd be anything but an AK.
Well, we don't threaten, but
hear you.
Mother's Day
All
was
right.
a couple days ago.
Sabrina, Athena, you have a question?
Absolutely. So you went from auto engineering to having this brilliant marketing brain and deciding to pour just the fact that you went from auto to greeting cards. Yeah, that's a huge switch. What was that dynamic like in different markets, and how were you able to apply your expertise without, allowing people to maybe say, well, you didn't, get into that aspect?
So I think it's a couple of things. Fundamentally, first of all, y'all are amazing. I love the show. Come on, fashion.
Thank you.
We'll talk about that another time.
Come through.
But I'll start with, we went from luxury cars at Cadillac to luxury cards, Hallmark.
Luxury.
I mean, those are not, yes, they have cars in, Dollar Tree and what have you, but there's cars that are 15,
They cost.
$13, $12. So it was really a line of luxury versus different industries. After working in auto for about 20 years, I knew that I wanted to go to CPG, consumer packaged goods,
Yes.
so a different industry to really sort of strengthen my skill set. When I left Cadillac in the US, one of my mentors, when I moved to the Middle East and Dubai, said, hey, you can either travel the world or you can get your master's degree. And so I decided to spend that time traveling the world, exploring, truly a passion. But then when I came back, I had the opportunity to move to New York and work with the Cadillac team. So that was when I decided to get my master's degree. And I think that piece is important because when I think about career transitions, I needed that master's to be able to do well at Hallmark Mahogany with that team. But I also learned so much transitioning from Dubai back to Michigan for a hot second, and then out to New York. So luxury, that piece was sort of a common thread. And then auto is 80%, if not more, men, and then cards was
Yeah.
80% women.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And so it was really about having the wherewithal to leverage soft skills. I think I learned a lot in automotive in ways in which to work the room, to really bring an idea forward, to have the meeting before the meeting, and then there are the group text during the meeting, and then the conversations post. So a lot of that insight and building sort of a brand and bringing forward ideas, those
Yeah.
are essential in any industry. And I think I learned a lot of that really well, sort of how to have very crucial conversations. A lot of those skills I
Yeah.
learned in automotive.
So we have about
yeah.
2 minutes before the break. Just explain to us what is Shining Diamond Media Group.
So last January, I left the opportunity I had at Hallmark Mahogany to start my own marketing and media firm. February, I spent helping a girlfriend's mom who had stage 4 cancer. March, I was like, I'm kind of ready to get back into it. And so getting back into it felt like I should have started my own company. You know, I could have 100% of all of the work, less stress because I didn't have anybody sort of to report to. And so I literally started, had a conversation with the CEO at the TD Jakes Foundation. And she was like, hey, we would love to bring your company on board to help us grow and expand our marketing.
Love
And
it.
so they were one of my first large clients. And then from there, we just continued to explode. Last year would be in the first year, but it was
Sure.
fantastic.
Well,
Congratulations.
So yeah, that's outstanding. And
Love
just so you know, I've got about 7 meetings with different folks all of whom want to represent me in media and branding and all of that. But I told him I was meeting with Alexis Kerr this morning, and I had to talk to her and see what her deal was first.
We
You know
just
what I mean?
signed a couple of major influencers
Yeah.
to 6-figure
Yeah.
deals.
Yeah. Well, I'm next.
So
I'm next.
It has been
Get-
phenomenal, and there are many
Yeah,
opportunities.
we got to take a break, but get my paperwork done during the break. Be right back after this.
Here's the wake up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up, let the truth be told. The wake up call. It's the wake up call.
This is Super Bowl champion Lomas Brown, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield, my man.
This is Grover in Kansas, and I get my wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
This is Super Bowl champion Lomas Brown, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield, my man.
This is Grover in Kansas, and I get my wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's your girl, Randy Rosario, comedian and TV host. I get my Saturday wake-up call with my guy, Reverend Horace Sheffield. Think about it today.
I'm Sheriff Raphael Washington, Wayne County, and I get my Saturday morning wake up every Saturday morning from Reverend Horace Sheffield, and you should too.
Every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
This is Super Bowl champion Lomas Brown, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield, my man.
This is Grover in Kansas, and I get my wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or or 1500 AM, The Wake Up Call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
You've been listening to
Here's the wake up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up, let the truth be told.
All right, we're back.
Yes.
Final segment. We had a great show today. Donnie Simpson.
Woo.
We got two luminaries, luminaries, two bright lights
Yes.
in the pantheon of the orbits around the universe. There's planets probably named after both of them. Go right ahead, Chantel.
Yes. So first, you're very impressive. I really
Thank
love the
you.
history.
That's
I
why
really love
she's here.
everything. Yes,
Yeah.
you're. This is. I was sitting like I'm in the audience listening to you talk about your journey, and because you've had such a great journey,
By the way,
you
we're
also-
going to invite her to be one of our speakers.
Yes,
Oh,
she
please,
should.
I would love to.
Absolutely. We
I
would
would
love
love
that.
to.
Very inspiring. So one of the things that you find important, which is should be important to everybody, but with such a great story, is your commitment to honoring and supporting young women. Can you tell us how you do that, and also encourage other people to get involved and really do that? Because we have to. I'm a mom. Sabrina Athena's a mom, and it's important for us to uplift children, especially they're consuming so many things that aren't uplifting.
Yeah, I think last night was the auto show, and I gave to the Boys and Girls Club because that was actually the first place that taught me how to play basketball.
Period.
So random, but I thought it was important because there's got to be a safe place for young people to go to, whether it be to worship, to play, to be safe. A lot of times we don't realize even today that people's homes are not safe, and so I always want to empower women. We think sometimes, they've got these great jobs, they've got this great life. And honestly, behind all of that, we end up seeing that there's a lot of hurt, there's a lot of pain. And people don't, especially moms, don't get the encouragement and support that they need, whether they're in a marriage or outside of a marriage. And so I think it's really always important to find opportunities to celebrate, really celebrate women. And I've always done that, whether it's a deacon at Hartford, whether it's my work with Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, or whether it is with just the general work that I do. People are always reaching out to me on Instagram or on LinkedIn and just asking for a word of encouragement. A lot of corporate women aren't supported at work. And so I just I've sort of turned over my entire LinkedIn page so that it is in support of.
That's
of
how we
women.
met, actually.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just watching your stuff, I
amazing.
was very impressed, and I DM'd her. Is that what they call it? I DM'd her.
In a good way.
And and she responded, and it was just really great. Tell me, where did you play basketball at?
And so I didn't in college. I had an academic scholarship or a track scholarship or basketball. And my
But you
mom
played in
said,
high school.
Don't get in Augusta, Richmond Academy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, Ed and I are both athletes, so we were curious. But Ed, you got a question?
Yes, and I just want to.
I got you.
Some hit me, and that is how important the D is in your career, because you went from cars to cards, and that D just fits right in there.
Yeah.
Now, as far
Very pivotal.
right, and what I want to get to is because you also mentioned in having mentorships. How can a young lady get involved in that?
Oh, there's so many ways to get involved. First, I would say a couple of tips. Reach out to whoever you want to talk to. Come with a set of questions. So whether that's in their DMs on whatever platform you feel comfortable with, but come with the actual questions that you want to have answered versus just saying, can you mentor me? Can you mentor me? I'm trying to achieve this. I love this about your background. I've watched a couple of interviews or heard a couple of speeches, and here's the questions that I have. So that's one, reach out to the person directly. Two, go to the places that they're at. Hey, this was on Instagram. You saw it on Pastor's page. Hey, just come and meet me in the audience. There's no conversation like the one that you've waited to have. So have the conversation, have your questions ready. And 90% of the women that you meet or that I meet, we want to help one another. We want to encourage one another. And so no one's going to reject you. For the most part, people have time when you have a plan and you want to get specific questions.
So I know that you're very, hold on, Ed. I know you're very serious. You're it's like I'm a very serious person. I mean, if people ask me all the time, how do you do all you do? Because I'm purpose driven.
Amen.
But I also know you have fun.
Absolutely.
And I know you had fun last night at Dennis Archer's party.
I might have had a
I left. I left kind of early, because like I told Dennis, I don't really party much. I work so hard. I go home, sit in my lazy boy. But you were well. you got a lot of attention there. Some people that I know mentioned, and you talk about women supporting women, and it's probably because she does have that network of folks. How much of that is based on? You say you were deacon. The whole notion of a congregation or of us being connected to one
That's
another.
good. I think there's a lot. A lot of it is due to congregation and sort of connecting with people. But honestly, one of the biggest things that we do as women, or I would love for women to think about, is just being gracious and supportive of others. A lot of times it seems like you need to offer something, or you just need to be yourself and be kind and generous. A lot
Amen.
of people, and we all probably know celebrities that we look up to who just aren't kind and generous.
No.
And so when you're kind, gracious, and generous with people and to yourself, people will be attracted to you.
Mhm.
And so there's always that piece.
That's a
Ed,
word.
you have a quick
Yes,
follow-up, and then we're
yes,
going to go to the ladies.
You haven't been part of corporate America, and my wife was part of corporate America, so I know some of the challenges that you face.
Yeah.
How did you deal with the boys' club?
I think it's also, I think the biggest piece is understanding how to navigate. So I had great mentors
Uh-huh.
at General Motors. You know, one of the most amazing men who supported my career was Gerald Johnson. He retired after 40 years, an icon in the automotive industry. So mentors helped. Also, you know, many female mentors, Anita Johnson, who came up sort of alongside me. So mentorship was the biggest one. And then also supporting people. The biggest thing at any company is most of the time people are looking up for someone who can support you. But what I learned at General Motors and just in general is that your counterpart, somebody's going to get promoted. One of my counterparts at Hallmark is now the CEO. We were on the exact same team 3 years before she became CEO. She was the first person who actually mailed me a card to congratulate me, which is a huge thing on when I came on board. So it's
That's
important to look
nice.
at your peers. A lot of times people look at their peers as competition, but one of you are going to ascend at some point in time. And so you just need to be gracious to one another. You need to be kind to one another. And a lot of times when you're competing or think you're competing with someone, people tend not to be that way. So mentorship is big.
Well, you can do that when you understand whose universe it is
And who you are.
and there's an inexhaustible supply.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
because I have it don't mean you won't.
Come on.
Okay.
And we both can win. There's room
No
enough
question.
for all of us
There's
to flourish.
enough. There's
Has
enough.
always been my philosophy.
Absolutely.
Athena, and then Chantel, we only have 5 minutes.
Okay.
No, we have
time.
4 minutes.
We got
3
a
minutes.
hot 3. So I'll take my 1.5. So my question for you, madam, it seems like you're the walking example of all things work together and trusting.
Amen.
And trusting a faithful walk, because like purpose-driven people, we might not always know what's on the other side of something, but we keep going anyway.
Yeah.
How do you manage those uncomfortable moments in your walk with faith? For those of us who get uncomfortable and sometimes quit or sometimes do something that puts us out, self-sabotage.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is knowing that in the end, God has me. And so when I left Hallmark, who would have thought that I would have been in the hospital, you know, eating Chipotle with my girlfriend's mom who had stage 4 cancer. Like that wasn't a plan to go from the boardroom to the hospital, just chilling with no income. But I did have a strong confidence that God had a plan. And so in knowing that, I just served. And then the rest came. And so a couple of things I think are quintessential, especially for women, is to have your finances together. When I
Amen.
left Hallmark, I couldn't get a compensation package because I would have never been able to talk about the work that I had done there. So that was part of it. If I signed that agreement, I would have never had been, whether it was directly or indirectly, it was specifically in that exit. And so I had to leave without any funding. But because I had saved my money and been a good steward, I wasn't worried about it. I was like, okay, I know how to make money. I know how to connect with people.
Yep.
The rest will be history. God, you can, that in your hands is going to be magic. And last year was a phenomenal year in starting a business. And also I started a farm. So I had quietly bought 5 acres of land in South Georgia, and I turned it officially into a farm. Don't necessarily like plants and animals, but I'm an official farmer. So there's always that piece.
Congratulations.
Thank you, ladies.
So what I want to do, since she worked with Hallmark, and I'm always most of my, and we're back to that same sound, by the way. Most of my material comes from what I hear people say, and so I was thinking about Joseph when you spoke, And Joseph was based on he had a purpose and he had principles that he carried wherever he went. The place didn't matter. It was the principles
Amen.
and the purpose. And that's why he did not succumb to Potiphar's wife, wound up in, from a pit to Potiphar, from Potiphar's to prison to the palace. Hello, somebody.
Yes.
And
To the palace.
so, the challenge we have is, listen to this, that often where we are does not look like where he told us he was taking us. Come on now. I mean, I'm
you
gonna
got to
preach.
get through the valley of the shadow of death.
Yeah,
You gotta
I mean,
get
just a
through that.
shadow.
I mean,
It's just a
there
shadow.
was a wilderness before there was a land flowing with milk and honey.
Amen.
And so you just got to understand, if God said it, he's intentional with it. You just got to believe it through
Come
it.
on, they that wait on the Lord shall renew their strength.
Come on, preach, girl.
on,
Preach, girl. And that's my last point. And then when it's dark, you got to dance in your darkness. Because if you don't dance in your darkness, you never live to see the light of day. Now, y'all think this strange. In my worst hour, the only person that was left to dance was the devil. And I said, if you're going to mess with me, you're going to at least dance. Because I know if you dance with me by morning, you be gone.
Amen.
Come on.
Shake that.
All right. All right. We're so glad to have this
Thank you.
outstanding African-American female. And
No doubt.
Yes.
women are doing great
Y'all,
things.
follow me.
We'll see you next week.
I just did.
I am Alexis Kerr.
Yep.
Hey, here's the wake up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up, let the truth be told. The wake up call. Hey, it's the wake up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up.